My name is Rick Tiller. I'm the Public Information Officer for Mountain View Fire Rescue. I am here assisting Jennifer Siplet, who is the Public Information Officer for the City of Boulder. She's going to come out here in just a second and give you guys a statement on what's happening, how it's progressed so far this morning, and what next steps are. Jennifer?
Thank you, Rick. Sure. Jennifer Siplet, C-I-P-L-E-T. I'm good. Okay. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. As you can see, there is a fire that is burning behind us. We have multiple crews that are currently up on the hill responding to putting the fire out, to containing it. At this time, we just ask that everyone steer clear of the general in-car area. All of the trails have been cleared, so we know that there's nobody out there. And crews are just working hard to get the sucker contained. Fortunately, we don't have a ton of concern for our public safety at this time. Everyone just needs to, I think, stay calm. The best way to receive information at this time, if you could text BOCO info, all one word, BOCOINFO, to the number 888-777. This will give you the most accurate, timely updates for this and other emergencies that happen in the city and county of Boulder. Right now, we've got one county helicopter, a couple of planes flying over that I'm sure you can see on camera, and they're working together with ground crews to contain the fire. I can take questions at this time, but that's mostly what I know. The biggest concern now is focusing on containing the fire in the location where the fire is at. That is the biggest concern at this time.
How close was this fire to the one that happened 2 years ago?
That's a great question. I don't know. Do you know that one?
I don't. It's not necessarily that close to the one happened 2 years ago, but it is in the same general area.
And we would like to remind the public that anytime there's a fire, there are different conditions from the last time there was a fire. Wind is different, the way the soil is working is different, the direction that the fire is moving is different. So there's all kinds of different conditions that our wildland fire crew is absolutely expert at reading and responding to in terms of containing and putting out a fire. So I know from a public perspective, I lived here during the Marshall Fire. I know that there's a lot of fear in this community around wildfires. So I just want to say it's not necessarily the same kind of fire. So just to let everyone know that crews are up there at this time. They're saying just avoid the area and let them get their jobs done.
I've seen a lot of Excel vehicles going up and down. There was one parked here. Is there any concern that it was caused by any power lines like with previous fires? Or are they just out there surveying?
I don't have any information about the cause of the fire at this time. I do know that it did begin, I believe, on a trail, but there's no information about the cause of it at this time. My understanding is Excel's here. They have their own communications people, and I don't speak for Excel, but I do understand that they're just here kind of being sure that everything is okay from their perspective. I don't. We can probably get that information for you in the next update. I don't know the name of the hiking trail. I should know the name.
Mallory Cave?
Yes, that one.
Yep.
Thank you. Mallory Cave hiking trail.
How did you clear the trails?
Crews came in and they had a few 911 calls come in at the beginning of the fire to report the fire, and those were people who were from several of the reporting people were hiking, so we needed to be sure that those people were taken to safety, and then the crews, the multiple response crews were able to look at the trails that were in danger of being too close to the fire and assure that there were no people on them. Yeah, at this time they're not concerned. And again, they're just working at the location of the fire to contain the fire and ideally get it out where it's at. That's what they're trying to do right now, is to get water on it, to get the air. They're trying multiple points of attack to get the fire contained, to stay as close to where it's at as possible, and to keep it there and not moving. It's super hot. The way that it's interacting right now with the fire, again, is not causing any concern right now for this being super fast moving or like moving super quickly down into the east or anything. So right now they're just trying to contain it where it's at. Give me 1 second because I'm feeling my phone blow up, which means there might be some information coming in that I can share with you. If you want to answer questions in the meantime, that'd be great.
Can you tell me if that's what is that?
So that's an Erickson air crane helicopter right there that's coming in. So,
We know that.
okay.
Talking about the location. So that's over there by Tanaqua. What location is that?
So it's the fire is near the Bear Creek Trail and the Mallory Cave Trail. The really trying to contain it. At last count, it was about 3 acres. So we're trying to. It's a concerted effort between multiple agencies. Right now, Boulder City Fire has lead on this. Mountain View Fire Rescue, the agency I am with, is currently on the ground up on the hill doing work in the fire ground. We also have Boulder Rural, who's on scene. 4 Mile Fire, Left Hand, I believe, just rolled up a minute ago. So we have multiple agencies that are here on scene trying to get a handle on this fire as quickly as possible and make sure it is contained to that area in the canyon. I can't answer that for you since I'm down here. I don't have a better access point to see where that is.
How critical is it to get those guys in the air?
It's always, anytime that you can have air assets come in and put water from above, it's always critical to order those as quickly as possible. That happened this morning. As soon as the fire was reported, we had people on the scene. Boulder City Fire called in air assets as quickly as possible, and they were on their way.
What time was that, Rick?
What time were they called? I don't have that information for you. I'm sorry. The first call came in to dispatch on the county side at 11:22 a.m. Here comes another unit. I'm going to stop for a second while these guys roll by. (11:22) was the first smoke report call that came into dispatch that I am aware of. That was our Tatra from Mountain View Fire Rescue that goes into extremely tough terrain that is difficult to get other vehicles into. That can basically go up straight hills.
So probably not lightning, but what other
I do not.
besides human cause?
I certainly do not want to speculate on any kind of cause that may have started this. It's far too early in this process to determine that yet. The experts, the fire marshals, the investigators will come in after we're able to get this put out, and then they will try and determine how this started.
Any idea on how close the homes are, the nearest homes?
They're pretty far down the hill. It's not. Do we have an update on that?
No,
Okay.
we don't.
It's pretty far down the hill. We're not concerned at this point, unless something changes with a wind direction, about any encroachment onto structures, homes, commercial structures, anything like that. You had a question. I don't have that confirmed for you. So the Erickson air crane needs a wider space to pull water from. So it's most likely going to Marshall Lake over on Marshall Mesa. The bucket off of the light helicopter can drop into basically any kind of pond, swimming pool, anything like that, and pull water as close as possible to the fire. Then we have the seats, the single engine air tankers that are overhead as well. They have to go and land at a hardened facility like an airport. The closest one of those is Broomfield, Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport in Broomfield. That was right before I came down the hill. It may have changed since I've come down the hill.
I will say.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
There's people here right now.
Sure.
Worried about when they see the smoke. What some people have packed up, they told me they're ready to go. What do you tell people now in the Boulder area? What do you need to do at this time?
It's always a good idea to have some kind of go bag ready just in case something happens. We always recommend that you have something ready to go, that you have your vehicle is always prepared, ready to go if it need to be. Right now, we don't foresee that happening with this fire, but in general, we always recommend, every agency recommends that you have some kind of a go kit ready to go so you can get out if you need to as quickly as possible.
So you do not foresee any sort of evacuations at this time?
At this time, it's too early to make a recommendation from our side, on the PIO side. That may change since we're down here talking to you guys and the command structure is up up on top of the hill at NCAR.
So we're
Jen, do you want to?
heavier fuels go up. Can you tell us about the terrain up there? What are these guys facing?
The terrain's pretty rocky. I've hiked up there. If you've hiked up past NCAR, Bear Creek, and in the caves area up there, it's pretty rugged. It can take a little bit of time to get crews up there. That's why you're seeing additional crews come up. So the crews that have been up there for an hour or so can rotate back down, and we can get fresh crews back up and down the hill as quickly as possible. But it is pretty rugged terrain where they're right now. That's one of the big reasons that having those air assets is such a positive for this incident, because we can bring in that moisture from above and put water on the fire and put retardant around the fire to try and keep it contained to a single area. It's right now it's too hard to know because we've had assets coming up and down the hill so far.
And they're taking turns because it's
Yeah.
so hot. I'll just say, wearing full firefighter gear in these heat conditions, you got to rotate in and out. So they're taking turns. They're staying hydrated. They're doing what they got to do so that they can keep doing their job. So there's a lot of folks up there.
Yeah.
At what point do you start calling for additional help if you think you need more fire departments to respond?
At the point at which that becomes the concern of the incident command. And right now that's not happened. So right now the folks that are up there are doing their job. And again, I know it's boring. I'm sorry that I keep repeating myself. It's really just they're containing it where it's at. And if we have additional information coming in that changes anything, we will definitely let you know. My phone will be the first to get the notice, and I will be right here on the microphone letting anybody know. Again, I just want to repeat also for the most up-to-date information, please text BOCO info, one word, BOCOINFO, to 888-777.
Are you guys fairly confident you get everybody off the hill?
Yes.
And I was talking earlier about it being a concerted effort between multiple agencies. The Boulder County Open Space Rangers, Boulder City Parks Rangers were here. They were all up on the hill trying to evacuate as many people off of the trails as quickly as possible. And as of last check, everybody's off the hill, and that gives our crews the space and time that they need to work on getting this fire contained and keep it into a singular area.
But has it been evacuated? Or do you know?
I don't know if it's been evacuated. It's pretty far from the in-car building. We're using that as a staging point because it has a very large parking lot. It can accommodate a lot of vehicles. Anytime you have an incident like this, you have a lot of vehicles coming in from a bunch of different areas. So you need space for a command center that's going to accommodate that. And that's why we chose in-car. It's near the incident, but in-car itself is not being affected at this point.
And you're calling this a dinosaur fire, right?
That is the title, the Dinosaur Fire, yes. We good? Okay, we'll be back down
Thank
as
you
soon
all.
as
Well,
yeah,
yep.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
We'll be back down as soon as possible to give you guys an update.
Yep. Thank you.
Did you need something? Oh, did you guys my last name is Tillery, Tillery. Sorry about that.
Remind me of your first name, please.
Rick.